This morning is Bradley Gilbert. Good morning, Bradley.
Good morning, Becky. Good
And
morning,
Bradley,
everyone.
we have got in the house. We are like full today.
Full house.
I love
Full
it.
house.
I love this.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a fun morning. And you're
Like,
kind
this
of
is a
outnumbered.
full powerhouse.
It's a
Full powerhouse.
Yeah. And of course, how apropos with Mother's Day right around the corner and celebrating women. We should be celebrating women all the time, though, right? Yes. All right, let's thank our sponsors, Brad.
All right, we've got Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Rose's, Fox Purley Wealth Management, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mitty Gunn, Marshall Monuments, McAllister Land Consulting, First Harrison Bank, Louisville Bats, Schneck Hospital, and Springs Valley Bank and Trust.
Yay, thank you to our great sponsors. All right, we're going to find out who all we got in the studio this morning, and we're going to start off. Jill Myers, you want to go that way?
Good morning. Jill Myers here, Superintendent of Salem Community Schools. And I have a lot of women in leadership here with me today. So I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Casey Bass, and I'm the K-3 literacy coach at Brady Shrum Elementary.
I'm Brittany Nicholson, and I am the cafeteria operations manager for Salem Community Schools.
I'm Erin Humphrey, and I'm our director of technology.
Nicole Caldwell here, assistant principal at Brady Shrum Elementary.
Whitney Bowers, registered nurse for Salem Community Schools.
Yay! Look at that,
Yeah.
man.
Truly a
Getting
powerhouse
it
here.
done.
Yes,
Getting it
absolutely.
done. All right. Well, let's find out the Walmart report real quick, and then let's check with Walmart and getting ready for the spring and summer, and all your plants and stuff are out. And
Yeah, full force. All our plants are out. Everything's going like clockwork with Lindsay and her team out there. So just a reminder, and for all of y'all that have one or more or 15 ladies in your life for Mother's Day, let's make it easy on them. If you go out and talk to Lindsay, you can pick out the pot, dirt, plants that you think she would like. Let us do all the hard work. Absolutely free. We'll put it all together for you. All you got to do is pay for it, and we'll even load it up into your car and take great care of you. So the team out there loves to do that. So we've got that going on, and got all kinds of gifts and everything for mom. Someone that is like a mom, whatever you want to do, or someone that maybe just needs a little cheering up in this time of year. There's always a lot going on. So
I want to give a plug for the cupcake cakes that say Happy Mother's Day. And if you haven't seen the cupcake bouquets that Walmart makes.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So see, she was, oh man, she's on. I need to, I'll give you a kickback after the thing. Seriously, that cupcake bouquets have gone viral. So I'm not a TikToker. So I apologize for that. But yeah, so thanks for mentioning that. That's really going wild, and we got a lot going on with that. So
I love it.
And a week from Saturday, everybody knows, and our community is so great to make sure they partner with us. But our annual CMN for Riley Hospital kicks off a week from Saturday. So we have continuously, since we've been open, raised the most amount of money for Riley Hospital in our North business unit of a little over 2,000 stores. And it wouldn't be possible without our customers and great associates. So that kicks off. And we've got a lofty goal this year. Our goal is $45,000, and we know we can do it. And so be looking for a lot of things going on during that time. And it's going to run through July 10th. So very proud of that. Becky, you always partner with us and all that. So be looking for that.
Yep, exciting for sure. All right, we're on to the 7th day of May. Today is Bike to School Day. Does anybody see anybody bike to school anymore?
We do. We have a couple students who bike to school.
I love that.
And we were able to actually donate a new bike to one of our students
awesome.
This past week. So that was exciting, and she was really excited to get her new bike.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, but I used to bike to school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was really fun. You know, it was it's a good time.
Yeah, for sure. I was a walker, so
I walked too.
Yeah, I didn't grow up in this community, so I don't even know that we had busing where I went to elementary school, but we were all walkers. So.
Yeah. All right. This is also Great American Grump Out. No grumpiness, right? No grumpiness.
Why did you look at? She looked at me. She looked right at me. I'm pretty sure.
For some reason, my neck just turned. Sorry. National Anxiety Disorder Screening Day. And now you all in education, everybody's got, I love it. It's like you guys are like to make up a whole body, everybody, all of you, what you do. And and it's important. Everybody's got a huge role, but isn't it wonderful how we've brought like anxiety like to the forefront and realized that it's real, and how we talk about things that we used to not be able to talk about. Isn't that a blessing? We've come a long way. We've been talking about like mental health a lot lately, this week actually, and I think it's such a blessing that we've come such a long way with this.
Yeah, we have 2 wonderful counselors.
Yes.
At our elementary school, and I know a lot of what we do in classrooms is social emotional well-being. So they help by going in classrooms. They help our teachers by educating them. But we do see a lot of that.
Yeah, I love that. Love that. All right. This is also National Roast Leg of Lamb Day. Anybody?
No.
No, I can't do that.
No, we're okay.
Ooh, now Whitney, you're shining today. National School Nurse Day.
It is National School Nurse Day.
And awesome. Yeah.
Yes. We're a very proud team to work with the school and to work with these little people. So
yeah,
it's an amazing job.
Well, and we're very blessed to have you. And you are, let's see, are you 2 years now?
No, this is my first full year.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yes.
Yeah. But it seems like because you just took right on in.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kids are my passion, so we've always that's just always been my life,
Yeah.
So
we're very blessed to have you. But,
thank you.
because a lot of times, you have to really be that person before, to be there.
Speaking back on mental health,
Yeah.
Mental health connects with health,
Yeah.
body health so much that we see a lot of it too. We see a lot of anxiety issues with kids and other things. So
Right.
it's a blessing to be able to take care of those babies.
Well, thank you for all you do, Whitney.
Thank you.
Yeah. National Tourism Day. Anybody going on any big trips?
Well,
This summer?
I'm spending Mother's Day actually not with my children. It's very selfish. But
No.
I'm taking a trip to Columbus, Ohio
Okay.
for a large music festival, which I'm really looking forward to. So
Oh, fun.
that's the closest trip I have planned. But
I love
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be touring. Yes.
I'll be
that'd
touring.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're on tour.
I'm on tour.
I love that.
Correct.
That's great.
Anybody else?
Me and our family are hitting the road in our RV this summer. We'll be almost 40 nights hit national parks out west.
Oh,
That'll be
golly,
fun. We'll live off
gee.
grid for a little while, and the boys and my husband and I will learn to live rogue, I guess.
Yeah. But I feel like because having the boys, I just like they're just like just give them wilderness. Don't you feel like that?
Yes.
And maybe some dirt, and
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
they're just like happy,
They're
right?
happy with
They
it.
yeah,
Keeps them entertained.
they do. Yeah, they're
We have no
outdoorsmen.
specific plan, just for them
Yeah.
to enjoy wildlife and
That's great.
What's funny is they're going to be getting an education, but they won't know it.
yeah,
They're going to see things that
different
and,
states,
Yeah,
that
that's-
they've not been to
yeah,
yet.
but they probably have no idea that it's actually little
No.
educational.
They have no clue.
This is fun. All right. Occupational Safety and Health Professional Day.
That should be every day. It should be every day.
Every day. Paste Up Day. Anybody use paste anymore?
Fun fact, you can't buy it.
Well, Erin, I love that. I did not know that.
At the high school because we were trying to show kids the past and teach them about paste.
Yeah.
You can't even buy it.
You can't get it anymore.
Purpley paste that would dry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you remember the smell of
Yeah.
it?
The peppermint.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
the-
did not. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had the
Now,
stick.
If
Yeah.
Brad can get some in at Walmart, I'll gladly go purchase it.
Well, you know what? Now I'm going to be in my one of my meetings this afternoon. I'm going to be looking up stuff.
Hey.
So
Person on the front. I can.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
call some of my peeps at home office. Say, what's going on? We need some paste.
For those going back that when we had paste, you would see like your classmates, somebody over there eating it.
Yeah,
I'd always be
absolutely.
wondering,
Because it had the little stick in the lid.
Yeah,
and you had to
yeah,
spread it out with
yeah,
the stick. And
yeah,
spread it.
definitely,
Or
yeah.
glue stick.
Yeah.
It was purple, but it dried white.
I am so sorry, Whitney, that you missed that area. Yeah,
Yeah.
You
yeah.
had to have paste.
Yeah.
I think I just had normal,
I don't have
Normal.
stick face.
Oh, look at these young
And
ones.
then
Yeah, these young ones.
She's like, yeah, the
She
glue.
was-
She's
I
like,
was
I
gonna
just
say,
had the
I
glue
just-
stick. I don't
Yeah.
know what you
Oh, she has the glue gun. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I did not.
Yeah, but No,
but-
yeah,
She
that's
has her the liquid bandage.
Yeah.
big difference. All right, those are some holidays. Get out and enjoy for sure. All right, let's jump in and find out which department do we want to start with first. What do you
Oh my
think?
goodness, let's start at the end. With
All right.
Oh my goodness.
health
Okay.
All right.
services. Put me on the spot. Not to
Yeah.
put you on the spot.
Yeah.
So your first year, congratulations!
Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you.
Wait, let me whisper to Jill. She's staying.
Did we have a runner off?
No.
No, it's been a great year. I feel like we've done a lot of updating policy wise and just positive changes, I feel like, and we've had a great year. I've learned a lot about schools, a lot about kids, a lot about school safety. It's been a great year. So some upcoming things, we are having 5th and 11th grade will need updates on their vaccinations this year. So we plan to have a vaccination clinic for orientations. There will be one at the 6th grade orientation through the health department. The health department's going to work with us and come
Awesome,
in.
love that.
Yes, yeah, they're a great
And what are
asset to
those,
us.
just for our listeners?
Meningococcal is one. Actually, it's both. It's just a different series. So, and then we worked really hard this year. Oh, I want to talk about physicals before we go into physicals. Are offered through our school system on May 14th this year from 5 to 6:30. Those are free for all of our students. So I definitely suggest that for them.
I hope every parent can get there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because you got to try to hit that date. You know.
Yeah,
or
we do have
grandparent.
options that they can come to our Life Springs Health Clinic
Love
for
that.
that. So
Mhm.
they're able to come and get physicals there.
That
too.
is such
So,
a blessing. Yeah, for
yes,
families. Yeah.
Any kid 5th through 12th grade that is playing a school related sport needs to have a physical on file. So
Love that.
and those run fall to fall. So this will cover the fall session for
Okay.
that. We also worked really hard on Project Adam this year and getting updated on our AEDs and our cardiac response plans. We're very excited that we are working with Project Adam. They're a Riley-based hospital project, and it's an amazing system that they use to get schools prepared for any kind of cardiac emergency event. We put some teams in place in each school building. Those are currently being trained and worked through, and we're going to run some mock codes to learn about how to handle cardiac events. We are working very hard to get that done, and I hope that we will be, we are slotted in now with Riley Hospital that we are going to be certified in August.
I love that.
So
nice.
this year was more about getting our plans in place and getting our people in place, and then we'll be certified hopefully by the end of August. So we're very excited about that.
As you should be. What does Adam stand for? What is
So Adam was a child that was, he was a 17-year-old child that was at a basketball game, and he went into cardiac arrest and died, unfortunately. And his parents created a program to get AEDs in school because he could have probably been saved if he had had an AED accessible. So we have worked really hard. We've gotten 6 new AEDs this year.
Oh, what a blessing.
We have gotten one in each school building, and then we've also put them outside at our sports facilities. So the football field, the softball field, and the tennis baseball field. We have them in each of our safe rooms now that are accessible during emergencies for the community also. So we have 4 actually in every school building and then the 3 outside.
Oh,
So,
that's outstanding.
yes,
That's
so
good.
it's been great.
That's good. Yeah.
And the health department was able to, we were able to secure 4, and they were able to get us some also. So it's been a collaboration of a team of people, and we were able to get all that updated. So
yeah. Look at all your networking. You're hitting
It's great.
I mean, with the health department, which is they are rock stars there.
Absolutely.
I love that. And then Riley's, how wonderful.
Yeah.
That's
So the health department has a school liaison that works directly with the school nurses through the health department, and we're able to communicate and learn all the updates for school, anything basically.
Right.
So any school health related issues.
Love that. What's been some of the things? I mean, have we had just a common cold, flu? What's been?
We had a pretty rough flu season
That's
this year.
what I thought, yeah.
Unfortunately, had to close school a couple of days just because of the sickness rates. But we were kind of at precaution. We weren't totally at the standards of closing school, but we were able to kind of combat it. We really put some cleaning protocols in place in each school building. We're able to help out the staff and learn about the different things. And then we had norovirus kind of at the same time, the stomach bug. So unfortunately, that was. I feel like we're still kind of lingering at the end of that. We still get 1 or 2 every day that we have,
and I think it hit our staff.
I think so.
Worse than our students.
I really think that we didn't close because of our students. We really closed because our staff.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Got it. So, but winter break helped us. I think Christmas break helped us kind of get through that.
Yes.
So,
But that shows how close our school is.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. We definitely love on our children. So
everybody shares everything. Yes.
I was lucky this year and did not get it, but we did have a flu vaccination clinic for our staff, but I think the mutations in the flu this year kind of, I'm hoping it helped a little bit as far as, symptomatics, but it hit us pretty hard. But when we're seeing the lingering just little things, but for the most part, we've had a pretty healthy year.
We've
had a pretty healthy year.
I think it was kind of like throughout the whole state, and even in our sister states, even where everybody was battling that.
Absolutely, I think it was everywhere.
Yeah, thank goodness that's behind us, right?
Just wash your hands.
Wash
your hands and don't cough on other people.
I feel so judged when I'm like in a restroom sharing, and like there's several, sinks, and I'm beside someone. I never stop until that person stops. I don't want to be judged. You know what I mean?
Counselors and I worked very hard to go into classrooms and teach hand washing for students because kids like to just put soap on their hands and then just stick it under the water instead of actually scrubbing.
It's the bubbles,
So we you sing happy birthday to yourself, say your ABCs, something. So we worked really hard to try to teach them all that. It worked out fine, but
good. Yeah, washing your hands. That's right.
Washing your hands.
Good reminders. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, this is a big exciting year, and today and celebrating you today.
Thank
this
you.
is yay.
Yes, I have a great team of nurses that work with me. I'm based out of the elementary schools where my office is, but I have 3 wonderful nurses that work with me, one at each school building. We're very lucky to have them in order to take care of our kids every single day. So
right. Yeah, it's a blessing to have that.
It is.
Yeah, everybody working together. Yeah.
And people maybe don't always understand school health sometimes, and the fact that we're there and we see these babies and see these kiddos every day and help manage their health, something that's going to last them the rest of their lives. So education, health education is very important to all of us and me, and I feel very strongly that kids need to learn great health practices right now so that they live a very full, healthy life.
Yeah. So. Well, since we're all women, there's that comedian and it's on TikTok, and he talks about how he said the school nurse calls what? And he called, and he.
You said since we're all women.
Oh, sorry, Brad. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, almost. Sorry.
An ugly girl.
It would not be. No, you need to stay where you're at. Yeah.
I'd be like, good thing she's saying.
So, but he said the school nurse calls, and this is the dad, and he said, wait. Do you know I am the dad? There had to be, the mom is who you should be. It's really cute.
That is funny.
Yeah. Have you seen that where he does that?
I haven't, but I know typically.
Yeah, it's like
naturally we go to call mom first.
Yeah. Well, he's like, yes.
Natural.
Yeah. He said, why would anyone? He's the comedian. He's like, why would he goes? I don't even know for sure where the school's at. 100%. You know what I mean? He's like, he goes. Do you know I am the dad? It was really funny. Yeah. But so I think the school nurses, because you still have to call sometimes whenever. We
call whoever we need to call, but sometimes we do get that let me call their mom or let me call grandma or somebody.
Most of the time the kids are all in for that. No, just delete dad's
number.
There's some show that they were women were talking about how difficult it is to be a mom, and they said, oh, it's really hard. And one of them said, well, if it was easy, then dads would do it. That's kind of true. That is kind of true.
All right, let's jump. Whitney, was there anything else
I don't think so.
Medically? No. And before the end of the program, let's give that date again on those physicals.
May 14th, May 5 to 6:30, and it'll be at the high school.
Okay, awesome. All right, Nicole, what's going on? Let's how the prince, how do you like that assistant principal? And
Yeah, no, this is great. It's
you guys
I
are
believe,
a power team over there.
well, we try to be. There's a running joke about the rose between two thorns. So
I
kind of
love
like
that. There you
joke.
go. I would, yeah.
Yeah, this is my, I believe my 5th year, and that would be with Clinton as well, Mr. Blankenbaker. And we were able to add Mr. Setzer to our team.
Yeah.
And so it's been great. We're trucking along. I do want to mention that this week is Teacher Appreciation Week.
Ah.
So the admin staff and our wonderful ladies up front, Miss Sadie and Miss Becky, we have spent the whole week planning things for our faculty and teachers, our instructional assistants, to make sure they know how much we appreciate them, because they're really at the ground level doing the work with kids. So we've had a fun week of celebrating them with some more treats to
I
come.
love that. Can you tell a different vibe in the school? Like, school's getting close to the end. I mean, after.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
What's
Yeah.
the vibe? What is it like?
I think restless.
Yeah.
I think restless.
Sure.
Kids are ready to get outside. It's been a long year,
Yeah.
but it goes very fast. I think
Yeah.
for adults, maybe not so much for kids.
Yeah.
But just these days of great weather. And plus, we have been testing now. What would you say? 6 weeks of testing so far
Probably.
in different areas. So this is a very difficult time of year for kids.
Yeah.
Because the pressure is on to complete the state assessments or national
Sure.
assessments. So that makes them restless as well.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think the kids are ready for a break.
Yeah, no doubt. So are the testing, is it still going on? Or are we pretty well done with it? Or?
We're about to finish up. So
Yay.
that'll be a big celebration too.
Sure.
And I'm really proud of our staff and our students. This year, we made a couple adjustments to how we did our testing, and really emphasized the importance of quiet hallways and, just things that help ease that for our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure. And then you got a group going to St. Louis.
We do. They're leaving tomorrow morning.
I know.
Mr. Blankenbaker is going to be on that trip, and I believe
I'm going
Ms.
to.
Bowers is as well.
We were talking about what to pack. I said, make sure you have clean underwear and a toothbrush. You know what I mean?
Deodorant.
Yeah. I think,
I added that to Mr. Setzer's list. He made the packing list, and I put clean
Deodorant.
yeah, please.
Really, this was kind of thought up from Mr. Setzer. He kind of was the factor that got this to happen again. So I know pre-COVID, I believe the 5th grade students went to Chicago every year.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was time to bring that back. Experiences are everything for kids. And it really impacts their ability to learn and think critically. So
they're very excited.
Super excited for those kids. The children that are not going, there are 2 days of fun activities for them. So I believe Thursday they're doing Rock and Bowl and all the great things that they have to offer there. And then on Friday they will be going to BizTown, which is always a big hit. So,
I love BizTown.
Yeah.
I always people remember the DJ. Yes, I always would have. Oh,
yes. I was
Yes.
actually in a classroom yesterday when the kids were getting their assignments, and so they were like yelling and they were so excited. So
I heard about it a lot this week of different jobs.
Yeah.
It was so funny because I would get in trouble. They would say, "Turn your music down," and I'd tell the kids,
Turn it up.
because I said, let them know we're here.
Yeah.
So and then one of the work. I love BizTown though. That is so much fun. I'm so happy. Yes.
And then the kids get to learn those skills like
You don't walk on the
managing
grass.
Yes, don't walk
and,
on the grass.
and then popcorn. Oh, we ate so much popcorn. Yeah.
Yeah.
So much fun.
It'll be a great
Checkbook.
time for them.
Checkbooks. Yeah.
That was the financial
Yeah.
side of it.
And that was hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
We never had. And then there's always a mayor.
Yes,
Which is
I
so
could
cool.
not tell you which
Who's the mayor
student
yet.
was the mayor, but they have a full election.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's so cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those students are really
Oh,
excited
they're very
about that.
excited. I
Oh,
heard
no
it
doubt.
all in the hallways yesterday.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Great.
Yeah.
Well, and you guys do a wonderful job. And of course, we know that, things have changed, from, as far as like trying to keep up with, you almost have 2 buildings there, years ago, and that's a lot to keep up with. And,
It is.
and we know that the kids, this energy, we've had a long winter where they really, some of the times they couldn't go
Yes.
out.
Correct.
And I'm a huge believer in get them outside, let them
right.
run some of that off,
We've had a lot of inside recess.
Yeah.
From the rain, and So like they need to be out.
Yes.
They want to be
Well,
out.
we got a beautiful playground.
We do. How about that?
Look,
How about that?
I love that. Love.
And I know that members in the community are enjoying that in the evenings too.
Oh, they do.
So it's a great thing for everyone.
I know. And that's a huge blessing. It's
It
so
is.
pretty too.
It
Yeah,
is.
so
I
pretty.
think so too.
And it accommodates everyone.
It does. We wanted to make sure that we had equipment that would accommodate the needs of all of our students, so they can all experience and enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else, Nicole? Updates? Just
It's been
hanging
a
in
great
there.
year. I
It's-
can't believe like we're almost to the end.
Yeah.
You know, but no, it's been a wonderful year, and I see great things next year as well. So
Love that. Love that. Well, okay, Erin, what's going on with you?
Well, we're again coming to the end of the year and getting ready to collect those Chromebooks and clean them up and get them ready for next year.
Look at Erin.
No,
Erin.
that's the. Does the nursing staff have to get involved in that?
Sometimes they probably should.
Yeah. Wash your hands afterwards, Erin.
Yes.
Wash them down.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got new ones for the elementary. We have new ones for the middle school that have arrived. And so those are being set up and ready for the middle school. So middle school will be pretty easy to get ready for next year. And then high school and elementary will clean those suckers up and get them ready for the kids for next year and pass them down to the new grades that get them. One thing that we want to touch on, there is a couple of TikTok trends going around for the kids, and parents, listen up. We want you to make sure that you're teaching your kids why this could be dangerous. They are seeing on TikTok and social media that they should stick metal things into their USB ports, like pencil lead, push pins, paper clips, gum wrappers, anything that doesn't belong there. What this can do is create a charge on the motherboard, which then can ignite the battery. So we want to make sure these kids are not misusing the Chromebooks and not sticking things into ports that they shouldn't. So please talk with them about the dangers of this, and that we shouldn't always do what we see on the internet.
Right.
There was a school close by who had an incident yesterday that it resulted in kind of an evacuation situation. So
wow.
We're watching closely and trying to make sure that these kids are not using the Chromebooks for bad things, I guess.
So not being a TikToker. So is that just to teach them as it's a prank, it's funny, or is it
yes,
to do damage to something?
Both. Any of these pranks or trends that go viral tend to just be to get a reaction. This particular one is not funny or safe and can result in serious harm, especially if it were to happen at home. So we want to make sure that these kids are treating devices safely, using them safely, because it's a scary thing that could happen, and we don't want anything to happen to the kids.
No.
Right now, just our high school kids take theirs home. Middle school and elementary stay at school mostly. I think 5th grade may take them home occasionally.
Right.
But we really want to help teach the kids the dangers of following these TikTok trends. It's the same thing when those of us who were old were little. If so-and-so jumped off a bridge, would you follow them? We don't want these kids jumping off that bridge. We want them to not follow those trends and to think for themselves, think critically, and understand why these things are dangerous.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Erin, going back to the 5th grade, getting new ones, do they update? Are these updated a little bit from the new ones that the middle school is going to be receiving? Do they make them new and improved?
No, it's a new model, but it's the same device. There's not really much you can do to improve a Chromebook.
Okay. Well, I didn't know if it was something that they have made a little more wow factor.
No, they're the budget model. I mean, they've still since pre-COVID, we've doubled the price that we pay for Chromebooks since the year before COVID. So
wow.
Yeah, they've gone up 100%.
Well, they know you need them
in price.
Yeah.
Just where the parts are made, and I mean, it's just the nature of the beast at this point. We used to be able to get them for $150, and now we're paying $300 for a Chromebook. So
it's a big jump.
We just want to make sure that we take care of them, and that that's why we collect them over the summer, so we can make sure that we have them and we can repair and maintain the fleet the best we can. With the way that the state changed book rental too, we have to make them last a few years longer than we would have prior. So
What did it do? You mean
they have kind of reduced, because the state pays for books now. It's reduced the rate that schools can get because we can't take and bill for books. So we can only take what the state gives us, which means that the Chromebook fee that we would have charged pre-COVID, because all the grants and different money that came in allowed us to update some devices. But the $50 a month or $50 a year that we would have billed on book rental for a Chromebook, we can't do that anymore.
Oh wow.
So we're seeing increased costs, but also trying to keep the
navigate
devices
it.
up,
Yep.
Yeah.
which
yeah.
just means that we have to keep them nicer for longer.
Right. So do you like, okay, so when you collect them all, is this like, then you go to work? I mean, like, do you have to clean them all and are you like going in and
We
clean?
take seniors get pushed down to freshmen. So we take the senior Chromebooks and we completely
Erase everything or?
like refurbish the fleet. We fix
Okay.
all the issues. We replace the chargers that don't come back and don't get paid for. Fifth grade the same way. We refurbish that and that gets pushed down to second grade. So the second graders get a nearly new device. And then middle school, 8th grade gets down to 6th grade. So for this year, we don't have to worry about the middle school because all the middle school will be new.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing the full cleans on the 5th and the 12th. And then we go through the kids, the returning kids, and we just spruce theirs up. If there's some damage or there's some missing keys,
Yeah.
These keys
I
just pop
can't
off the
even
keyboards.
yeah.
They just jump right off.
Well, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just, they jump
It
off.
just happened.
and-
Heard that
Yeah.
a few times.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. It just did
Yeah,
it
it
itself.
just happened.
We
Yeah.
find all the missing parts and we put them back together so that they're ready for for day one, but we don't put as much into cleaning those because they're going back to the same kids.
Right. Right.
And then the ones that withdraw, we'll clean theirs and refurbish them to give them to new kids.
I think you were going to jump in and talk about funding.
Well, no, actually, I was
Oh.
funding, yes, but curricular fees and things like that definitely have changed. But this may be a really good time too. We have a lot of families who maybe do not understand synchronous and asynchronous days and why, number one, technology is so important if we choose to participate in those days, and how that makes sure that we don't go to school way into the summer.
Yes.
So,
Right.
Aaron, I was just going to have you touch on that and why the Chromebook
Okay.
is so important, because we're also working with teachers to move through the SAMR model, which is a technology term. We don't want the computer just to be a substitution. We want the computers to actually be something we can augment our instruction with
Mhm.
and model for our students and move to using them in very creative ways. If you can do something that can be done on paper pencil, why wouldn't you do it, right? So
Mhm.
we want to make sure we're using our devices, number one, to teach our students the 21st century skills they need,
Right.
because when they go off to college or even in high school and they take an online course, but also two, just the way times have changed and schools want to stay up to date. We also want to be able to participate in these days and keep instruction going during a very long winter like we had this year.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
you want to talk a little bit about those days and
Sure.
why we opt in?
The asynchronous days are the days where teachers would just assign assignments and the kids would do them on their own time. There's no live Google Meets. There's no requirement to be in a session for any amount of time.
But teachers are available
Teachers are available
during
all day
those hours
for help.
Okay.
but
to
there's-
assist.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, but there's no live requirement.
Okay.
And we get 3 of those a year from the state. That's in state legislature. The synchronous days are the days where kids are in live Google Meets for more than half the day and they're participating in instruction. Teachers are on live. The rest of the day, teachers are in office hours and available for individual meets, one-on-ones, emails, calls, anything the kids or parents need. And those are unlimited at this moment through state legislature. So, or state legislation. So, we were able to leverage those synchronous days this year because we had so many weather-related days in January and
Mhm.
February.
Sure.
Otherwise, we would probably be in school until at least the first week of June.
Yeah.
And nobody wants that either. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but having the Chromebooks allows us to give those kids those experiences. I know our AP kids are using them a ton differently this year than they did in years past. There's a lot of new teaching techniques that are being implemented to use them as a tool to supplement and encourage logical, critical thinking skills
Yeah.
for the kids.
And I think it's really important that families know that we understand the difficulty of learning at home. We don't expect parents to be teachers. We try to accommodate any way that we can for students that are really having difficulty or don't have access to internet. We allow time for assignments to be made up so that we can support those students as well. And we also understand parents work. We are all working.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I know that it puts a hardship on families,
Sure.
but it is a great opportunity if we're going to be closed due to weather. Those students who can participate do get something from that. So,
Absolutely.
but I just want to make sure families understand we do recognize that it is a hardship
Yeah.
on our families, and so we want to work with them to try to make it easier.
So how does a student or a parent, like on one of those days they need extra help, how do they get that from you all? I know you're available, but what is it? Pretty simple process? Or?
Yeah, they can message the teacher through Google Classroom. They can call the teacher. They can email the teacher. They can call the school, and the school can put them in touch with the teacher.
The reason I was asking that is there's so many ways that you got the kids covered. So I think that's important,
Yeah.
and that shows that you do care about what the
Yes.
parents and families going through.
And we
because
also have our
it can be tough.
teachers record those live sessions. So if there's a student that maybe they have to go to a babysitter and they're not able to do that work during the school day, that lesson can always be retrieved in their Google Classroom,
Oh,
and they
that's
can watch
fantastic.
it and hear the teacher and see the instructions. So we try to give every opportunity,
Yeah.
you know, that we can, understanding that families have things.
We've come a long way, baby, haven't we?
We
I mean,
have.
this is like, I know it's
Yeah.
awesome. I think it's fantastic. And we're utilizing it. This now, how is the Wi-Fi? Are we doing okay? Like everybody getting good? I remember during like COVID, remember we had to do like hotspots, like set up I think a school bus and put a hotspot in it, you know, I mean, different around. Are we doing pretty good on that?
We're better. We're still not perfect. The county still has some dead spots.
I wondered, yeah.
Where we don't have the best internet connection. And hopefully E-rate continues with the hotspot funding, and then we can get some
Awesome.
additional hotspots through E-rate in the coming years. But that ESSER helped out a lot. The ESSER funds through COVID helped out a lot to be able to provide those during those 2 or 3 years where it was a big issue trying to get kids online.
Yeah.
We still have community partners who provide Wi-Fi around the school on the walking trail. Salem Schools actually provides the Wi-Fi out there. And then on the square, I believe it's REMC, and in Pekin, it's Telemedia who provides some free public Wi-Fi. Our Wi-Fi is always available in our parking lots after school hours if kids need it. There's lots of churches nearby that will allow use of their Wi-Fi in the evening hours if kids need it. I think the library still has public access for
I think the
kids.
ballpark just got new Wi-Fi. I seen
The
something
ballpark,
through
yeah.
the community
Yeah.
foundation.
Yeah,
and they're
that's
providing
great.
it.
And then sit at McDonald's.
Mhm.
McDonald's
Yeah,
has free Wi-Fi.
most of our
which-
restaurants, Walmart has Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
And McDonald's wants me to tell everyone, they want me to tell everyone that they have got their chicken strips are coming back. So, okay, real quick. I just had to,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah,
I have to
they
keep good with them because they make my Big Macs. Okay, so I'm sorry. A little I do a little selfishness there. Sorry. But anyway, yeah. So, but you do have some, but I've not heard anybody say anything about it. You know what I mean? But remembered, I mean, I know years ago we went kind of, but
It has helped. REMC has put fiber in.
Yeah.
And mainstream.
I'm glad you
internet.
mentioned that because there's 3 companies, Jackson County, Orange County, and Telemedia, that at our meeting Monday, today's Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
There's the county offered tax abatements to continue that, and they're on target, but
Good.
there's still additional 3 more years of that, so that will continue to expand. And the goal of that from the whole time was to make sure that our students had access and things like that. So I think I'm always glad to hear that at least we're, maybe we're not where we need to be, but we're always moving forward in that, especially for our kids. So I think that's important.
Mainstream Fiber is another fiber provider in the county. That's
Oh,
what the
yeah.
school uses for ours. They're out of Brown County.
Yeah.
But I know they were started in the Campbellsburg area initially and kind of moved this direction. So we've got lots of options. It's just getting the builds out into those more rural, remote parts of our county, because we have a lot of hills and valleys.
Yeah.
And there's places cell service is not even great.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So,
That's why the radio station are in the heart of the Hoosier Hills. You know what I mean? Because we are hilly.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But Aaron, I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you having to clean all those and doing that. I'm just thinking, I want to just say I feel so bad. That's a lot of work, and
we have a good team, and I've got an intern
put fun music
who's
on and
done a good job.
just listen while you're cleaning, or
Well, ESSER helped a lot. The ESSER funds allowed us to have 3 summers of allowing our cafeteria staff to come in the summers and being able to pay them to come in and do all the hard work of the cleaning. Mindy Huffman and her crew that she would bring in were phenomenal, and
I'm a
took that
huge
right
fan.
out of my hands.
Huge fan.
And
huge
it was
fan.
just done. I didn't have to worry about it at all. After those funds expired, we've had to kind of change our process a little bit, but we still get it done. It's just not as much fun.
Yeah. Well, my heart goes out to you. Okay. Because I understand the cleaning part. It's never ending. Yeah. Well, that's awesome though. And it's good to know, I mean, to get an update on everything. Yeah. And so yay for the middle school, getting some new ones. Yeah. All right, Brittany, you're not off the hook here. All right. Speaking, we're going to segue right in.
Right.
So you are the woman that Brad and I always loved, cafeteria.
Yeah. We have a very great group of ladies working for us at all 3 of the schools, and they put in a lot of hard work every day to get the kiddos fed. We've had a really good year. We have been able to utilize some local food this year through a grant funded program. So we've been able to do some fun new recipes with that. The kids have really enjoyed the pulled pork nachos. Those have been a big hit.
I mean,
Those are one of my favorites.
we've been waiting for the invitation.
Yeah. Brittany, just
lost
text.
in the mail.
Yeah.
We've put in a couple new bars at the high school. So we have a build your own burger bar with the local burgers. That's been a big hit. And we did a chicken wing bar as well. That was very popular. So it's been a good year. And this summer, actually, for the first time in quite a few years, we are doing a summer food service program. We're participating in that. So we have a few different ways we're doing that. Our summer school kids are going to get fed at the schools during the day. And then we also have a pickup option, kind of similar to what they did during COVID. So where people can go in and order meals. So then they'll pick up. We have a couple pickup days throughout the week. So
I love that.
That's been a lot of work and a process, but we're all excited, and hopefully we can help alleviate some of the food insecurities with our kiddos in the summer.
Love that. Well, it needs to be utilized because, of course, the state's looking, and if we're not using it, we got to use it.
Right.
And what a blessing for families.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic, and I hope everyone utilizes.
Yeah, I hope so too. So they'll be able to sign up on our school's website and also on Washington County CAST website. So.
Okay. Yeah. And it would be kind of like, I think maybe I misunderstood, but did I understand it right? Like maybe on Monday, like for the ones to pick up, maybe you would pick up for maybe Tuesday.
Yes. So Monday you'll pick up 2 breakfasts and 2 lunches. And then on Wednesday you'll pick up 3 breakfasts and 3 lunches.
Yeah. And that's and you don't have to like show anything. You don't have to jump through hoops.
No, you just sign up and tell us your kiddo's name.
And they don't even have to be enrolled in school, correct?
Right. Yeah. It's 18 and under, anybody. Anybody. So even
like the siblings and stuff,
siblings,
everybody.
Younger siblings and
yeah.
things like that,
That's amazing.
Isn't that just
Yes.
I'm just so proud of that. That is such pretty. I just hope we can always do that. And free lunches, what a blessing.
Yes.
See, I think that just makes me that makes me so happy.
Yeah, those have been a big blessing to a lot of kids this year, and we're going to continue that into this next school year as well. So
yeah, I hope we can always do that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So now, what I amazed at how you learn everyone's name and you just know, right? I mean, do you love that relationship?
Yes. Yeah. Our ladies, especially at breakfast, I notice it a lot. The same kids come in, they go to the same lunch line, they talk to the ladies and they're like, oh, hey, and they are able to build a really good relationship with our kids.
Yeah. I was amazed. We did the breakfast thing. I didn't get to do it this year, but I did it the year before.
Yeah.
And like the lunch ladies, like they knew, like, oh, this one, like she'll want chocolate milk, she'll want white milk, or no, you can't have that, or that one can't have that because of allergy. And I mean, like, knew every detail about each child, and I was like, oh my goodness, this was that relationship was just like just so awesome. And of course, then there was high five, good morning, and it's so awesome.
Yeah, they're a great group of ladies. We couldn't ask for anything better to work with.
Yeah, you've got it. Yeah. And which school are you at? You're
so I work in all three kitchens. I'm based in the elementary school. That's where my office is. So.
Oh, yeah. That's great though.
Yeah.
You get a little of all three. Taste of them.
Yes.
I would hit that burger bar.
Yeah.
If
I throw a new recipe at them, they're all really, really good.
Ooh, what's new? What have you done lately?
So this year we did a few new pasta recipes. We did, like I said, we put in some new bars. I've been talking to some of the ladies for next year to come up with some new recipes as well. So that'll be something that we do this summer and hopefully get in next fall.
I was going to ask Brittany how we get the burger bar at the elementary.
Yeah.
If we can work on that, that would be great.
Request that.
Add that to your list of
I
things over
love
the
that.
summer.
Yeah. Do you still have this, like, I feel like the challenge, okay, like that you would have to, because you have guidelines, and I always try to remind people there's guidelines, you know? Yeah, no, right. But then you have to bring a taste.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course there's quality, obviously, and what a blessing that you can buy some local too, you know, but you also have to bring that taste, because you can't put all of the salt that we might put on at home, or all of so you really have to be extremely creative.
So I came in, I'm actually a classically trained chef. So I came in with that.
Do you make crepes?
I have. So I came in with that.
School right now.
Absolutely.
I came in with that background, and I feel like that's been able to help me formulate recipes for the schools.
Yeah.
Once I kind of learned all of the rules that we have to follow, and there are many.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a learning process, but we do really well, I think.
You do.
Last summer, we had a group of ladies go to a training that they had up in Columbus, and it was a week-long thing. We went into their kitchens, and there's a group that comes and teaches school food service recipes and processes, and kind of, I think that gave our ladies a good boost to like, we can go in and try different spices instead of having to use salt and things like that to give things different flavors. So
right. Well, you do a wonderful job.
Thank you.
I'm amazed at it though, because especially with your background as chef, I mean, we're like, a chef has like every seasoning you want, you can do.
Yeah.
And now you kind of, gotta be the creativeness. So So thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's cool. And our own personal chef. Look at that. Look at that.
So I know
love that.
Becky mentioned the crepes, but so on the wing bar, what?
I'm with you, Brad.
Sorry.
Go, Brad. Yeah.
So we offer we have boneless wings, and then we have bone-in wings, and then we have a lot. We have like 4 or 5 different sauces that our kids can choose from. And we do celery sticks and a couple other sides, things like that. But the kids love that. It was very popular when we debuted it last fall. So,
Are you allowed to do blue cheese? Okay.
Kind of. Yeah.
Ranch. What about ranch? Because
Yeah,
we are
do ranch.
okay.
Yeah, we
Ranch.
make our
This
Ranch goes on everything.
I was gonna say yes. I think that's our area. Everybody has to have ranch, right? So that would be it would be horrible if you didn't have ranch,
So we have a good sauce option. So
But I like the
kids
celery
kids
too,
love it.
because a lot of times kids don't get introduced to celery, and that goes perfect with wings. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we need to hang out. Love that. All right, then, let me see. Then we got Casey. Casey, you're not going to get off the hook, huh?
Okay.
So tell us a little about yourself and what you do.
Okay, so I am the K-3 literacy coach at Brady Shrum. And when I tell people that, they always say, well, what is that role, or what do you do? And it's kind of hard to clarify. But what it is right now, our school is in a grant program. I'm partially grant funded, and we are in a partnership with the Department of Education and University of Indianapolis. And there are schools all across Indiana that are focusing on the science of reading, which is just a body of research over the years that people have collected that we're taking and we're pushing out in the classrooms. And I know pushing sounds aggressive, but it's not. We're actually.
I don't. Anybody that knows you knows that.
Oh, yeah, there's no aggression.
I don't think there's. I think we're safe.
Yeah, you're completely safe. So yeah, what we're doing is in a partnership with our teachers, we're taking this research and we're looking at all the ways we're teaching reading. And that means taking a very close look at the methods, the curriculum, the books, the styles. And then we're pairing that with how well the kids are responding. So we call that our data, and we look at our data and we use that to, we meet as teachers. I meet with them one-on-one. I meet with them in small groups. We look at the data and then we go back and take it to our classrooms and switch up what we're doing to make sure that the kids are learning to read. Bottom line, that's our focus. And not only just learning, we want them to love reading. We really, that's the whole heart behind all of this, is what books are you going to take with you, or what, you know, I know some people aren't book readers, but they read a lot of internet, or they read topics that they're interested in. So that's what we're really trying to instill, but you can't develop that love unless you feel like you're good at it or confident in it. Right. So we're the behind the scenes data people with the methods, pushing it out, trying to encourage that growth in the kids and in our school too. Because we know that the K-3 specific is the foundation for our whole district. So if we can get the kids up and running with the reading, it unlocks success in the other content areas like math and science and social studies.
Right. Love that. Again, I think I said earlier, but like Cass was on yesterday, and she was talking about how well you guys, everybody works together. And I love this so much. And what you're talking about too is like how they learning and making sure they're learning. Don't you? I really think it's important for our community. We're not in your world. And a lot of times, you know, we see the building, we drive by it, you know what I mean? But we don't know what all the greatness that's going on. And it's so awesome to hear the measures that are going to, from the measures of making sure our children can read. And we talked about how, you know, growing up as adults for those that cannot read, you know, what quality of life, you know, how hard it would be, you know, they have to pull out every other sense that they have to function, you know? And what a blessing for this.
Absolutely. And I would say if you were to ask a personal why, I would hook that to what you just said. Adult illiteracy, it brings down people on an individual level. Like you said, it's a confidence thing. It's a passion thing. You don't get to unlock who you are meant to be if you're hindered in the area of reading. So even though it's boring and plotting work, sometimes we have to dig through that research and look at the methods. And I think that's what my role is specifically, is to be the bridge between the research and the kids and the teachers and the community, and boil it down and put it into practice so people are developing not only that skill of reading, but loving to read and then going out and taking it into their own lives.
Yeah, I love that. Jill, I think I love when you talk to people and they tell you what they do. And I love that you can see their hearts, you can see their passion, and you can see they're good at what they do.
Yes. And a lot of this is all at the district level. So I don't think sometimes people really know what's happening behind the scenes.
No, that's exactly. And I'm so happy that these are great pillars. I mean, these are our bones of our school right here. Yeah. Wow. Yes. It's like stand back for a moment, right?
and I'm sure our listeners can hear it in their voices, but I think the one thing that's been amazing to me, it makes me proud to be a Salem alum, first of all. I mean, just to see, but every person as they were talking, and even as others were talking, this whole group is just smiling and they're nodding their head and they're just so happy and proud of what they do. And it's so selfless. And I think a lot of times, you know, sometimes I'll be one of the first ones to say, I don't understand what educators do, but you know when it's great. And, you know, you said this is a good group, but this is a great group.
Yeah.
And just seeing that is like, people need to just step back and say, thank you. How can I be a part of my kids' journey? Because they're in great hands. And this is just a fraction of all the people in our school system.
Yeah.
So I just, you know, on a personal note, thank you to what you guys do. Just seeing it on your faces, it's just like, well, that's what it's supposed to be about. And so it's always great when people love what they do, right? They do it even better.
Well, and I love when they tell about it. I mean, tell what you do. We
Get
don't,
your
you
horn
know,
so people see you coming.
Dolly Parton. All right. That's right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
I tell
you
that to him all the time. Yeah.
there. She does.
So Jill, superintendent right there. So, I mean, how wonderful and how proud you've got to be when you're listening to all of them speak and you see their passion in their heart. That's got to be just make your heart 100% full.
Absolutely, because this is just, like they said, just a snapshot of the people that we have doing the great work. And just in a year's time, how much we've accomplished. So I'll just go down the line and toot a few horns.
Oh, please do. Yeah.
So with Whitney does a fabulous job, number one, of checking all of our policies and procedures. And she doesn't hesitate to reach out and say, you know what, this one's old, this one's out of date. What do you think about this? She consistently wants everybody's input and our blessing on the work that she does. And I'd say probably just recently, the biggest thing that we redid was our overnight field trips. And when we take these field trips like St. Louis and DC, there is a huge responsibility there. Taking field trips is much more difficult than teaching in the classroom. And when you're going out of town and overnight with these precious babies that belong to our parents, we have to be completely prepared for anything. So we were even willing to get up at 3:30 a.m. the other day and make sure that all the medications were ready to go. We didn't have to get up quite that early, but DC was leaving us very early, but parents were great about getting their medications in on time. And Whitney checked every bottle of medication, number of pills inside, wrote it down. Becky Day did a fabulous job of the bookkeeping. Yes. We did have injuries that happened in DC, and thank goodness everything was in order. I think there was even a parent who gave us a shout out on Facebook. So thank you, because sometimes we don't hear the positives, we only hear the negatives. Yeah. But they did a great job of taking care of both of those children who unfortunately had mishaps and trips to the ER while in DC. And that can only be scary for parents too. So thank you, Whitney, for making sure that all of our policies, procedures are in order, because that's just very, very important. And if you don't have those, you don't have anything to stand on.
Yeah. So is training for a trip like that, do you have to go through cat herding training? Is that kind of what it looks like sometimes? I mean, is that how it felt?
Yeah. It's sort of that way. We actually, that makes me laugh, because we just had a group chat with our St. Louis trip people that are going, and we were talking about like, how are we going to handle all these kids? Like, let's make sure we don't lose them. Like, it makes me laugh, because it was a running joke last night to make sure we had our knee pads and our headlamps, because we're going to the City Museum in St. Louis. So chasing children around cave-like structures. But yes, policies and procedures has been a huge thing this year. I feel like we've done wonderful strides and made some great changes. So I'm hoping that we can continue that next year.
Yeah, I think when you jumped in, remember, I think that summer you were like, instead of enjoying your summer, I think you just went and you went full forward and
I felt like once you get it all into place, everything runs much more smoothly.
Absolutely. Everything is in one place and everything is great now. So
and Nicole, she failed to mention that she supports our special education programming at all of our schools, and she is our go-to. And she does not have the title of special education director, but she is our most knowledgeable person that we go to. And being part of the co-op, we do rely on them as well. But Nicole really does have expertise in that area. And she works tirelessly and advocates for our special education students, as we all do. But she is the one who will say, this won't work, this will work. Let's try this. We've done this. So again, our special education population has grown. And it may be a high need, it may be a low need. We want to make sure we can meet all their needs. So again, Nicole does a great job managing all of that as well, and running that big elementary. We've had a coach come in this year that we purchased professional services through our title grant, Jim McMillan from Class Training. And they have focused on their culture, their climate, their procedures, their just how to run a school all day long with order, but also with love and passion and compassion. So the teachers have really done a nice job implementing, but the administrators have had to take that from the top down and get input from the teachers on what's going to work here in our building. What do we need to do to make our students feel the community and the support and the love in such a big environment? And the thing that Mr. McMillan said was, this is probably the third biggest elementary he works in. But he said, in the classroom, it is truly a family. So you may be big, but in the classroom, it is a family feel.
That
So
makes me proud.
Yes, as you
Yes.
should be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
so
yeah.
everything they're
Yes.
doing is working, even though, like you said, it used to be 2 schools.
Yeah,
all rolled
absolutely.
into one.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So technology, oh my goodness, as soon we fuss and fuss about new technology. Oh, I don't want that smart board. No, I don't want a Chromebook. No, I don't want a docking station. But boy, once we have them, and if something goes out, what are we going to do today?
Yeah.
I don't even have a sharpened pencil. I don't even have paper anymore.
Human
So
nature.
Erin is on call 24/7.
Yeah.
She and Daniel work tirelessly, so they never get the thanks that they deserve.
Yeah.
And we could not keep our buildings running without them.
Mhm.
And as we know, a few years back, there was a cyber attack before I came,
Mhm.
and we are still feeling the ramifications of that. And it still takes time to work through when a website is blocked or our students can't research on a certain topic because that causes a big red flag, or parents don't understand on asynchronous or synchronous days, they can actually do that from their phone.
Yeah.
So I can remember one day this year, we had some parents who were concerned that they didn't have their Chromebooks. And Erin, I believe, got up at around 3 a.m. and she went and she pulled Chromebooks out and she labeled them and she had them sitting in my office ready to go for the parents who needed to pick those up because we knew bad weather was coming in.
Oh,
So
Hmm.
she works tirelessly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Brittany and Karen, oh my goodness. I don't even know where to begin. Feeding kids is
yeah.
probably the most important job besides our bus drivers, picking
Yeah.
them up and getting them to school. It's my biggest worry anytime we have a vacation
Mhm.
because our students may not eat.
Yeah.
So being able to go on a huge break this summer
Mhm.
and knowing that our parents can
Yeah.
sign up and have food all summer long, that's heartwarming. And I know how much work is going into that to make that happen too. We're trying to figure out how, we don't even know how many at this point. So how many people do we need to prepare the food and how many people do we need to pass out the food? So
Right.
we're going out on a limb
Mhm.
and we hope and pray that everyone will take advantage of it
Oh.
because it can only improve our students' well-being over the summer, mental, physical,
Yeah.
and social emotional well-being.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
And then we get to Casey. So my first love, of course, is curriculum. And anytime I email Casey or she's already on top of things, I'll say, hey, do you want to work with me on the writing curriculum map? Do you want to go in and talk to first grade about their writing prompts? She's already done it, or she's already made the slides for them. She can already have the data. She's like a miracle data worker. She already has the spreadsheets made. We've spent a lot of time on just helping our elementary teachers understand what the changes are. It's the law now to teach the science of reading and that our methods support the science of reading and foundational skills of phonics, phonemic awareness, fluency, vocabulary, comprehension. And I think probably the most difficult thing for me is I look back now and think of how many kids maybe I shortchanged because I knew I should be teaching phonics, but my school was telling me to teach this particular way.
Mhm.
So I would sneak the phonics in and hope that no one was listening
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I knew that was the way to teach kids. So we kind of get stuck in a rut sometimes. And then we're like, oh, I want to really teach about teddy bears because I've taught about teddy bears every year. You still can do that. You absolutely, we're not trying to take anybody's creativity away or make school boring. We're finding methods that actually work. If we don't catch our kids before 3rd grade, if they cannot read, they're never going to learn to read. They're always going to have that gap. But 92% of our kids can learn to read with the methods that we're teaching. So that's really, really
awesome.
exciting. So we just have that 8% that are going to need a little bit of a different instructional approach. So Casey's work is super, super important. We didn't bring Zoma with us today. Zoma is focusing on the math side of things. She's part-time, and I know she's done wonders in the areas of math. So we're just doing a lot of restructuring at the elementary level, trying to figure out the best way to meet all of our kids' needs.
And if I could just jump in, because I want to give a shout out to Jill.
Yes.
It has been amazing working underneath her leadership. Her intellect, her understanding, just of how kids learn, the support. She's always open to new ideas. And she will, again, I could probably call her at 3 a.m. and she will answer her phone. So I want to thank the board because she was the perfect pick. And I think that
I can't think of anyone that works underneath her that would say anything different.
Yep,
So,
it's been transformative for our entire district. On
absolutely.
a personal level, she's impacted me and inspired
Mhm.
me with the reading side and shown me what a graceful and classy leader looks like. And
Yeah,
I know
absolutely.
everybody
Yeah.
else would echo that.
And I
here.
feel like she's everywhere all the time.
She is.
Yeah.
I see her all the time. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Well,
she always responds. I love that in leadership.
Obviously.
Sometimes when you're dealing with this, when you're dealing with a huge school system, you can't always get to every question. But I feel like I never feel put to the wayside for her.
I don't either.
love that.
Thank
Nope.
you.
Thank
Joe.
you.
Well, from
Yes.
the board, yes, we very blessed and very happy. We know, yeah, we agree. Yeah, 100%. Everybody's in love. Yeah, with Jill, and Jill does a wonderful job, and she behind the scenes, she does the right things for the right reason behind the scene, and people, you can't. That's just it's just something that we just love. Yeah, definitely.
So we're at the end of the year and graduation. is
Crazy.
around the corner.
I know.
So,
I know.
we've just about made it.
I know.
Thank
Yeah.
you for having us today.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be, I always, when I was in school, I always fell in love with my teachers. I always, in elementary,
Mhm.
and I always wondered, do they miss me?
They
Well,
do.
There's,
I wonder,
I don't know about
there's
Brad.
some.
Yeah, I
I mean, there's some that may have been glad to see us go.
Yeah.
In full
Like-
honesty.
They're like, I always loved, and I was like, oh, I'm going to miss you guys so much. And
One of the best things for me, and I taught special ed
Uh-huh.
prior to coming to the elementary, is seeing those children who are now adults and they see you at Walmart or, wherever, and they come up to you and they say, "Pan, do you remember when you told me this? You were right, and here's what I'm doing now." Like it's
Aw.
just, I get goosebumps
Yeah.
just thinking about it. But teachers, truly, all educators, everyone who works in that building, the relationships that we build with kids and their families, it's the core of why we do it. And we do think about you when you're gone. So we do.
Yeah.
We worry
Well,
about you. We,
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, Becky and I were very lucky. We had great teachers,
Mhm,
and I can't say enough about, growing up in a small town, you don't always think about, but what the students you guys are putting out can compete anywhere. But I did have the opportunity to do something with my company that I work for. That was an opportunity, and when I was preparing for it, I was just like, into my head, I named 2 teachers that I would not have had the courage. They gave me the courage younger to get me to where I was to do something like this. And you just have those moments. And I think, I think that's important. And I think your love for all of our kids, that changes lives. I mean, that changes lives, because there will be always that time where that student will, and I'll tell you, one of my favorite teachers was one that was the strictest and the hardest and the standards. But she taught me to have those for myself, not just, I want you to meet these standards because I say so. She empowered me to be, it's important for me to do those. And Becky was the same way. So I think that's important. The heavy lifting you guys do with joy and love is just amazing. I am so proud to be a Salem alum, like I said, but just this room, it's a tip of the iceberg, So
Thank you all for all you do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hopefully you'll get some rest this summer, a little bit, right? It'll go quick, but hopefully everybody will take some time for yourself.
Absolutely.
Recharge those batteries, right?
Yeah.
hang out at a pool, relax, turn off the phone.
Yeah.
But none of you do that, do you?
No.
No, it sounds good.
I mean, educators, you don't have summer breaks. I mean, you work the whole time.
Yeah, you'll see him. You'll see him in the buildings, and it's like, yeah. Well, thank you guys so much, and thanks for hanging out. And we got to get you guys back to school.
We do.
Sorry. Let's thank our sponsors.
All right, we've got Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Rose's, Fox for Lee Wealth Management, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Marshall Monuments, McAllister Land Consulting, First Harrison Bank, Louisville Bats, Schneck Hospital, and Springs Valley Bank and Trust.
And we Whitney reminded us the 14th of May.
Yes.
Free physicals. Don't forget free lunches and free. I love that. And thank you for reminding us of that. And also happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Happy Mother's Day to you.
All right. Best Wednesday ever.